Hello friends, this is Dhananjayan, Assistant Professor, Savita Engineering College. So today we are going to discuss about one of the very important topic of computer networks called data link layer. See, without this data link layer, data transmission will not be possible from any point to any other point. I should say data will never move. So this topic is so important in the perspective of communication networks. And before I start my topic, we should know why we need to study this particular subject. Before we start anything, we should ask why. So, why we need to study communication networks? See, this is the only key for any ECE student to get into a new world of networking opportunities. So, there is a big domain called networking, and there are plenty of networking jobs available. And you can go to any of the job sites and you can start searching. There are so many hundreds and hundreds of jobs are available under networking domain. But when you want to get into that particular domain, you need a very important prerequisite subject called communication network. So you should know the basics to get into that particular domain. Not only into networking, and also if you want to get into cyber security, definitely you need to know what is the basics of computer networks at least. Because if you want to protect a standalone desktop, if you want to protect your own demilitarized zone, if you want to protect your own organization, or if you want to protect your entire network, definitely you need to know what is the basics of computer networks. So this particular subject is going to be an eye-opener, and this subject is going to bring us a lot of opportunities. So without any further delay, let us start this particular subject. So in this particular video, we are going to discuss about data link layer. So how data link layer is going to be helpful in delivering packet from one node to another node. Okay. So node, what I am meaning here is, it can be a computer, it can be a laptop, it can be a mobile phone, or it can be any end device connected to your network. So this is the outline of this particular chapter. So we are going to discuss about the introduction first, and then we are going to discuss about a very, very important topic called link layer addressing. So now, let's start here. So we need to know about nodes and links before getting started about data link layer. Okay. So as I told you before, nodes are nothing but, it can be an intermediary device or it can be an end device. So example for nodes can be your end device like laptops, your end devices like printers, scanners, and teleprinters, and we can have an IP phone, we can have servers. So these things are called end devices. Intermediary nodes are like switches and routers. And as we know, what are the links? The links are nothing but it can be a wired or wireless link, okay, which is nothing but which makes the connectivity between two nodes possible. Okay. So now we'll get into this. The communication at the data link layer is node to node. It means what? The communication is actually happening between one node to another node. So a data unit from one particular point in internet, it needs to pass through so many networks. Okay. For example, you take a computer in Savita Engineering College. I am sending a data from Savita Engineering College to someone who is present in US. Okay. Say for example, it is an email. So definitely this particular datagram, it should pass through humongous and so many number of networks, then only it can reach to our destination. Okay. So now what we are going to see in the coming figure is, it is going to tell us about the nodes and links. And you can see here, it is you can see here at the left side of this particular image, you can see a local area network called LAN. At the right hand side or extreme, you can see another local area network, and at the left hand side you can see a laptop which is connected to a LAN. At the right hand side we can find there is a server. Okay. So as I told you, the nodes are nothing but it can be an end device, it can be an intermediary device which is present inside your network. Okay. So this particular image shows so many nodes and so many links, and you can see here there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nodes, and in between there are 5 links. These links can be wired links or wireless links. Okay, and in this particular figure you can see this particular laptop is connected under a local area network. For example, you can consider our particular college. Okay, so in our college we have Wi-Fi. We may get our laptop connected through Wi-Fi to our actual infrastructure network. So it is connected to a router, and router to router forms a point-to-point network connection. And after that we can have our internal LAN connection. After that again you can have a point-to-point network connection. Again you can find the destination side. So you can imagine something like this. So I have my internal network and my laptop is connected to my internal network, and then it is connected to an external network via a point-to-point link. And after that it may pass through another intermediary network. After that it may be connected to, you know what, like some other country. You take some other country like US. Okay, so there is another point-to-point connection. After that it is connected to the destination's local area network connection. So you can see in this above figure what is a node and what is a link. The node is nothing but it is just a end device or an intermediary device of networking infrastructure. Link is nothing but it is the particular entity that connects or that brings connectivity to the nodes. So it can be a wired link or a wireless link, right? It can be a physical link or it can be a logical link. Now, what are the services offered by data link layer? See, here we are actually targeting on only one service. There are so many number of services provided by data link layer. So we can start from MAC media access control services. We can start from MAC addressing services. We can say like logical link control services. We can say like data link control services. There are so many services. In that we are going to talk about physical and network layer. So how data link layer is located between physical and network layer, and data link layer, it is going to provide services to the network, and how it is going to send and receive packets. This is what we are going to look into this particular topic. So we can see it receives services from physical layer and it provides services, or it actually send it back to the network layer. So it is going to act as an interface between your physical layer and network layer. So how communication is going to happen? So here we are going to have three nodes. One is a source node and another one is a destination node. In between we do have a router. So this is a network router. We can say this kind of data transmission like an internet connection. So source is from one network and destination is from other network. And you can see here the source is going to send a datagram. So the datagram from network layer coming into the data link layer. In data link layer, the data is called as frame. So you can see here the frame type 1, which carries data from network layer, and the number 2 in the diagram is actually represented as header of your data link layer. And when the data is moving to the router's data link layer actually decapsulate the packet, and it takes the datagram and it gets the necessary details to relay the packet or to transmit the packet to the next hop destination. So now what happens? The router is going to decapsulate the packet and it is going to look into the data link layer addresses, and then it is going to put the data back onto the destination. So now what happens? See, you can see here the frame of type 2 coming, and it is actually reaching the destination. The destination device actually opens the packet at the data link layer and it is delivering it to the network layer. So in the figure, you can see the dotted links are called logical links. The solid ones are said to be actual link. 2 is nothing but, as I told you, it is a data link layer header file. Now, so what are the categories of links we have? So we are going to discuss about 2 important categories of link. So here, it is given like, so even though we have connected with physical links, for data transmission medium, such using cable or air, we need to remember that data link layer controls how the medium is used. We can have data link layer that uses the whole capacity of the medium. We can also have data link layer that uses only a part of the capacity of the link. So I think you can remember the concepts like half duplex and full duplex communication. So half duplex and full duplex communications are the basic of essence through which your data link layer functions. So if you take a device like switch runs with both half duplex configuration as well as full duplex configuration. Okay. So in the other words, we can have point-to-point links and broadcast links. Okay. So this is what the two types of links on which your data link layer devices are going to run with. So if you take a switch is capable of producing broadcast packets as well as it is capable of delivering point-to-point communication. So this is what we are going to discuss in this case. So now, let me go back to that slide. Yes. Now, there are two sublayers are there for data link layer. See, if you take the 7 layers of ISO OSI model, each layer is divided into several sublayers depending upon the functionality and ease of, inventions and research, okay? Or otherwise I can say ease of access, right? So depending upon that, our data link layer is also divided into two sublayers. One is called logical link control or LLC, and another one is called as MAC or medium access control. Or otherwise this LLC is called as data link control. Okay. So now what we are going to do here is we are going to divide the data link layer into two sublayers, and the image is going to show us how it is done. So the data link layer is divided into data link control sublayer and media access control sublayer. So the data link control sublayer is otherwise known as LLC. This is otherwise called as logical link control sublayer. And the media access control sublayer is called as MAC sublayer. Okay. So the major two part of this segregation is, one is for delivering data link layer broadcast and another one is for point-to-point data delivery. And very important functionality of data link control sublayer or LLC is it is going to act as an interface between the lower hardware layers to that of the higher layers called as logical layers. So when it comes to ISO OSI layers, in the 7 layers, the bottommost 2 layers are called as hardware layers because it is hardware realized. And the upper layers, the remaining 5 layers in ISO OSI model are called as logical layers because these are logically realized. Okay. So when someone asks you, right, where these 7 layers are stored in a computer, see, actually the real-time hardware devices are dealing with only first 3 layers. So the networking components are going to deal with only first 3 layers. Starting from physical layer, we can have physical layer components. Data link layer, we can have data link layer components. In network layer, we can have network layer components like routers and bridges, etc. But what about the other layers? Transport layers, where is the transport layer? And what about your session layer? What about your presentation layer? What about your application layer? All these layers are realized in a software manner. If you ask where it is there in a computer OS, operating system, or it can be implemented with your browser. Okay. So this is the place where the remaining layers are present, but only these 3 layers, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer, are called hardware realized layers. Okay. So here you can see the media access control part, right? It is going to be dealing with the data link layer of point-to-point links. So this is the two important segregation of data link layer. One is called data link control sublayer or otherwise LLC, and another one is called media access control. So what is the functionality of this media access control? Why we need this? Media access control is going to enable, or it is going to give the device to choose, right, from the various incoming devices. For example, there is only one media is left alone, or I am having only one medium. Okay, but there are 4 or 5 devices are trying to access the entire medium. So without having any collision, how this data access or how this medium access can be given to any given particular device. For example, there are A, B, C, 3 nodes are competing for the medium. So there should be a mechanism through which all the 3 medium data should be sent over the internet without having any collision. So that is defined with your MAC, media access control. Okay. So this is all about your data link control sublayer and media access control sublayer. Data link control sublayer is otherwise called as, again, logical link control, and the purpose is it is going to act as an interface between your topmost layer and the bottommost layer. The topmost layers are said to be logical layers and the bottommost layers are said to be hardware layers. Okay, so that's it, friends. So in this video, I think we have seen an introduction about data link layer and how a data link frame will look like, and how a data chunk or a frame can be delivered between a sender and the receiver. Okay, so this data link layer uses a header as well as trailer. So data link layer uses header file as well as trailer to the datagram. Okay, this is the only layer in the ISO OSI model that uses trailer bits also. Okay.